Opinions expressed on the internet would be censored.
We are live. We are live. This is real. Welcome back to Unauthorized Opinions, UOPod.com. Like, share, subscribe.
It's pure propaganda and it's super cringe, by the way.
I literally went to the polls with nothing in mind. I saw a can of orange soda in the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, there we go. An unopened can of orange soda just chilling in the parking lot. I was like, yeah, I got to vote for Trump, dude.
Your podcast sucks. It's mental, mate. It's absolutely mental.
I'll be honest, I thought it was kind of offensive when you talk so much about the Loch Ness Monster.
Political climate.
And Andrew, treat yourself, okay? Especially if you start, I don't know, getting in good with homeless people.
Unauthorized Opinions, streaming everywhere at uopod.com. Cock-a-doodly-doodly-doo, man. Oh, and we're back. We are so back, it hurts. Welcome back to Unauthorized Opinions, the real estate special. I'm in my real estate garb here. If you can't tell, we've got the dress shirt. We've got the glasses, the costume. This is my Johnny Knoxville costume. You know, when he puts on the sunglasses, I don't dye my hair, but when he puts on his sunglasses and he dyes his hair, he's got the costume on. We're here to talk to you about real estate. This has become a hot political topic lately, real estate. The Tim Dillons, the Legion of Skanks comedians, a lot of people, as we adjust our mic on the fly, a lot of people are talking real estate and how insane it's gotten. So we're going to go through it. We're going to go through how expensive things here are in Canada, because a lot of people, they don't seem to know how shocking it is. They don't seem to have a concept of how much worse Canada is than other places. You know, you hear comedians and podcasters in the United States say the inflation's insane, and it is insane. And they say the housing market's insane. Generation Z is screwed. Millennials don't have any money. They're forever renters. And of course, the boomers don't really have any lifestyle changes. Maybe they'll have to stop splurging on the Everglades, or what other 90s vacations did people take? Disney World. Maybe they'll have to stop splurging on that, but for the most part, the boomers have lots of money to spend. Love them anyways, I suppose. But we're going to get into it, and what I want to show you first, let's get the ball rolling with a bloodbath. This is the things that are... This is what's happening today in the news, and then we're going to jump right into real estate. Trump's talking about a bloodbath here, and the fake news all over the place. Let's hear it.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. And you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine,
So that's the bloodbath they're talking about. But the bigger bloodbath here in Canada is the real estate. We're going to jump right into it. And we should say right off the start that it's going to be Canadian prices at the beginning, but we're going to convert for you if it's not in Canadian dollars, if it's in US dollars, and sometimes even in European dollars we'll get to. This microphone's bothering me, everybody. It's bothering me. We're going to have to hike it up to Shaquille O'Neal heights here. That's better. So you may be thinking, what's an expensive house in the United States? $500,000 US. That's expensive. $500,000 Canadian is about $360,000 in the United States. Let's get that one right out of the way, just so we know what we're working with here. US $500,000 Canadian is $369,000. So it's the dollar's 27 cents less in Canada. So just keep that in mind. 30% discount basically in the US. What do you think? Picture in your mind what a $500,000 home is worth. Think in your mind what a $700,000 home is worth. Then think in your mind what is, a $200,000 home worth before 2020, before 2022 to 2024, because things were going up 4 years ago. But under Justin Trudeau, we've had this hyper acceleration of inflation, money printing, obviously coming in the form of inflation, taxes going up, carbon tax going up, and of course, massive amounts of immigration into city centers, into populations that aren't used to getting these things. So picture what in your head it used to look like, even 4 years ago, what a $250,000 home is. And we have some examples here. We're going to compare different cities, and we're going to compare different jurisdictions based on the size of them and based on where they are along the border. And the first one I want to show you is a place called Clarington, Ontario. Okay, 100,000 people, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half away from Toronto. Traffic's a whole different idea. If you think traffic's bad in your country, in your state, if you think it's bad in California, if you think it's bad in New York, it's worse in Toronto. The statistics show it. I've been there. I've been to other places. Traffic in and around Toronto is the worst, probably in the world, but definitely in North America. Clarington, Ontario. What do you picture in your mind for $600,000? Just picture it in your mind. $600,000 house. Does it get you a 2-bedroom? Does it get you a 3-bedroom detached? Does it get you 2 bathrooms? Does it get you, a mansion in a neighborhood? In another place it might, but in Clarington, Ontario, what you're getting is a trailer. This is what may shock you. This is the most shocking thing when you open up your phone and you go to realtor.ca or Zillow in this case. What you're getting for $620,000 is a double-wide trailer. Think of Trailer Park Boys. Think of the epic feeling they had when they spent $5,000 on a double-wide trailer. This 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom trailer. Now, you might be saying, that's not a trailer. It is a trailer. Just because it's not on wheels, just because it's not in a trailer park, it could be. This is a trailer. This is a double-wide trailer for $620,000. That's the starting price. Everything's going 100 over right now, plus tax. You're going to end up paying like $4,000 a month in your mortgage to live in a trailer. And that's $620,000. More than an hour outside of Toronto. 100,000 population. Now, if you thought that's a one-off, we can go, I think, down the street in Clarington, Ontario. $535,000. Another double-wide trailer. This is what they're putting you in, Canadians. Our brothers and sisters across the border. UK, Australia brothers. West African brothers. People in Zimbabwe. This is what they're putting us in. It's a nice trailer on the inside. It's newly finished, but it's a trailer. This is it. This is what you're looking at. That's the dining room there. That's the other side there. From one end of the trailer to the other, and now we're outside again. Again, we've got our entrance. We've got our bedrooms. You can see the front entrance from there. And aren't you happy? Oh, we've got a standing shower. It's a nice walk-in shower with double glass doors. We've got a nice sink. We've got our little partition here for the for the toilet. But we've also got our office, which doubles as our laundry room in our 535,000 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, which we won't list the square footage for. Something you're going to see a theme of on this show is that people don't follow the real estate laws anymore. We don't have to put the square foot. You have to estimate it at the very least. There's a thing on the form for that. We don't have to put the real price. You'll see some people put $1 on, which is actually illegal. There's nothing wrong with this trailer, but of course, here's your office / laundry room for $535,000. Isn't that lovely? You're buying your Amazon. You've still got your U-Haul boxes packed here. But all that really matters is that you're looking out at your neighbors, maybe, who bought their house 5 years ago for the same price and have a mansion. But at least you've got Amazon Prime, right? At least you're watching Ricky Stenicki starring John Cena. Funny movie. Here we are. Here's our double wides. As we can see all along We've got lots of photos on this one. There it is. Isn't that beautiful for $535,000? You don't get you don't get a garage. You don't get even an overhang. You don't even get a driveway. Your driveway is shared with 3 other people. Here they are. Oh, you can fit 2 cars here. What are you complaining about? You can fit 2 cars here, is what the real estate agent should say. You're backed onto an empty field. That should drive up property when this field is filled up with more townhouses and trailers. Don't worry, you're backing onto the highway, you guys. Why would you be worried about $535,000 when you're looking at this and you're backing onto an empty field and a highway? Here it is from above. You might get a deck. There's your trailer for your relatives. There's your shed for your relatives to stay when they come over. There's your back door. And usually you don't see the door frame be the entire height of the home, but that's an eccentric piece of architecture we can look at here in southeastern Ontario. And I mean, that's a are you going to contact your real estate agent? That's a fine enough size dining room in a regular home. But it's actually the biggest room in the house. So it's wild. And again, we've gone through 2 examples now. Maybe we should go back and see what some of the pictures for the $620,000 unit. I know we've got another unit here to look at. Let's look at this one. 665 didgeridoos. Contact your agent right now at 8 Heritage Lane. So much heritage in this. These people have upgraded. I mean, they've got the wooden walkway and the faux deck for their trailer. 2 bedroom, 2 bath. We've got a kitchen where you can see somebody else's larger home. I mean, it's pretty fantastic what they've managed to create with the angles here in this 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Once again, non-revealed square footage. And there you go. We've got, as you can see, we've got a trailer here. We've got, your little patio here. We wouldn't want another room. We just need a patio here for our previously non-existent deck that we've built. It's an epic 5 feet wide. We've also got another shed. Relatives coming over. It's Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. Luckily, your relatives are Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys, and you can get them to stay in this shed. Maybe they'll have satellite radio in that. Maybe they'll even have a Bitcoin vending machine for you to invest, for you to pull out your Bitcoin from. Sorry, we're getting messages about real estate right as we speak. Maybe that's where the arcade's going to go. But can't we just be happy with what we've got here, people? We've got our $665,000 trailer. We've got a cardboard moose out front. We've got people with some real houses down the street. Just be happy. There's a gazebo nearby. Somebody else has a pool nearby. You live near the water. There's the square footage. Really making it look bigger than it is because we've added the deck and everything as another line here. And what we would label as a porch in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm not convinced this is not a trailer park. It's a trailer park on the water. This is basically Trailer Park Boys. They were on the water. We've added the arrow here. It looks like it's all been in the same lot. No driveways, no garages. But yeah, you can back onto a field or the highway and, really get a taste of what life is if you were to buy a house before 600 million people were put into the country in the area where you once grew up in. That's fine. We don't care if they're people from Finland, which we're going to cover a little bit of. We don't care if they're Australians. We don't care if they're, from Micronesia, wherever that is. There's just too many people here driving the real estate up. Inflation, as we mentioned. Carbon tax, as we mentioned. And the list goes on. Now, as I mentioned, Clarington, 100,000 people, about an hour and a half outside of Toronto, give or take, right? So I said, Andrew, let's compare apples to apples here. What's similar to Toronto? I guess New York City, in a sense. Maybe not Manhattan, but Toronto's got a very big downtown district. What is like a place like Clarington? So I looked up 100,000 people in a city, about an hour and a half away. I came up with Albany, New York, okay? Now, Albany, New York is a place that looks a lot like places around where I grew up, if we bring that up now. And we're going to. And I want to remind you guys that $500,000 Canadian dollars is $369,000. So we're looking around the same price range in Albany, New York, right? And keep in mind your trailer. Keep in mind your newly furnished trailer that was $700,000 before taxes, and your mortgage payment's $4,500 a month. No garage, no driveway, nothing. Keep in mind your trailer. So we've maxed out our price range here in Albany, New York for $369,000. We're going to show it to you now. Remember, $369 US is $500,000 Canadian, which is you need $700,000 at least to buy one of those trailers. So here's what you're getting. This is all under $500,000 Canadian. Albany, New York, other side of the border. 2-bedroom, 1 bath, a real house, $200,000 US. So we'll just round up to Canadian prices. Just for the sake of it, add 55, 75 grand to these prices. $300,000, 4-bedroom, big house, $219,000. You get a huge driveway. These kind of look like trailers, but when you get close up, they have basements and garages and a large driveway. Still less. Oh, look, this is a large house. This is actually a condo, excuse me. They're calling it a condo. It's not what condos look like here. $300,000, $269,000. Let's look up one that's almost exactly the same price as the one we looked at. That one was $539 Canadian, so about $250 US. Let's find one that's about $250 here. What do we have? $329, $298. I mean, we could keep going. Do you realize how much bloodletting you would have to do in Canada to find this many homes for sale at an affordable price? $239. I mean, it keeps going. $225, $250. Here's one for $250. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, an actual home. I mean, it's not the greatest home I've ever seen, but it's not a trailer. We've got yellow stuff. We've got a kitchen. Looking for the outside of the home a lot here. Newly done bathrooms. A lot of yellow rooms. The canary yellow, you know that someone's mother has lived in this house for a while. A canary yellow room in a home means a mother has raised kids in this house. They've gone and graduated from college, and now we've decided that we want to screw around with bad paint colors. I myself have lived through that. I had a mother who wanted a red fireplace in a green room with a canary yellow kitchen next to it. We've all been through that. We've all known the mothers and the women in our lives who say, I need to change everything in this house every 6 months. So this is a house that's the same price. That's a part of the house. That's the entrance, which is wild. But this is a house that is way less than the price of a trailer in Canada. Okay? This one was, how much was that one? That was $259. I should have been looking for $369. This is $329. Still less than the trailer. We can flash back here. We'll flash back for you guys. $619,000. Should we figure out what 619 is in US dollars? Let's do that. $457. So let's double back to Albany. This house was, more than $100,000 less than the trailer. Again, same house size, same population size, similar distance from New York City as Clarington is to Toronto. You're getting a very large, nice old house. The door frame is not the same height as as the home. We've got a nice study. I don't see any laundry machines. I don't know if this bookshelf spins around and you've got a nice stacked washer and dryer unit, but I don't see any laundry machines in this house. I do see an old TV that I probably had with a DVD player. A good Christian home, I see. I see a lot of trinkets. I see they've taken care of their home. An old stove. Hey, with the $150,000 you're saving from your double-wide trailer, you could get 3 new stoves. We can put the washer and dryer unit in the study to make you feel like you're living in the Canadian trailer. Now, granted, this house might be haunted. We look at the front of this house, and it's probably haunted, right? That's a haunted house. But you know what most Canadians would rather do? Live in a haunted house than live in a double-wide trailer for $700,000. I'm confident in saying that most people want to do that. We've got a double homicide. Maybe they shot American Horror Story there. Maybe in your $300,000 mansion, Charles Manson stayed there for a weekend with his cronies. Maybe that happened. Do you want to live in that, or would you like to live in the double-wide trailer with no garage and no porch for $700,000 and next to a highway and a field? Isn't that lovely? And, you might be saying Clarington, that's just one place, Andrew. That's just one place. Why would you only look at one place and tell me that the prices in Canada and in Ontario are terrible? Well, we can look at more places. This is Oshawa, where I grew up. You might recognize this if you're from the area. It is called Olive Street. These are like wartime houses. This is a $275,000 unit. And I don't mean the building. I mean this unit right here. It's nice enough on the inside. They've done it. Here's your gorgeous backyard. If you're looking to live, like it's the 13th century, and you like the surf feel of things. You like to live like you're a serf, and you want your plot of land extremely long and narrow, and you plan on maybe potato farming if you're from an Irish background, or if you're like me, you're just happy to. What do French people eat? Are we farming of St. Hubert sauce mill in the backyard? Are we putting poutines together? Are we brewing our own Molson Export? I don't know. But if you like to live like you're a serf under a lord, you'd want a backyard like this. And how beautiful is that when the realtor comes along and says, hey, we managed to cut down and or Photoshop this tree out of the image. But this is a beautiful backyard. You can go in it. Your neighbors can see through the fence here that's got the pieces of plywood that are 6 feet apart. There may or may not be a string of robberies and thefts in the area in the last few months, but it's okay that people can see through your fence. At least they know that they're not getting anything when they hop the fence. And you may think there's not a lot of photos because there's not much going on there. Here's your kitchen / dining room / entryway, which leads to the stairwell. I mean, this is comparable to the double wide. It's vertical instead of wide. Tell me what you guys would rather live in. The $700,000 trailer or the $275,000 rundown townhouse, which has 2 different roofs. Now, these homes burnt down a few years ago, and Doug Ford, the premier / if you're American, governor of Ontario, he put them up in hotels while they were being fixed. A lot of individuals who, let's say, have wet their beak in some narcotics. A lot of people who have dabbled in what we would call straighties in the industry. $275,000 for that. You might also be saying, Andrew, that's just one set of townhouses in Oshawa, but we can keep going with that because we're lovers of Oshawa, and that's where we grew up. Now, if you want a regular house in Oshawa, you're screwed. $815,000. This is not going to go for $109,000. This is what I'm talking about with people like lying on their listings now. For some reason, that's allowed. $109,000. Okay, sure. I mean, you could get an apartment down by the old school. $600,000. These are better than Clarington. Just a cool $1 million for a regular sized house. A cool $1 million. Here's your $1 million home. I mean, it's a nice house. Is it worth $1 million, Canada? Is it worth $1 million? We've got more. $600,000 for a townhouse. $1.2 million. Fleetwood Drive. I have no idea where that is. It sounds new. But this is what you're getting. You need $1 million to live in a real home. Because the regular homes are way too expensive to buy for the condition that they're in. $500 million or $500,000 you can get into this 1-bedroom, 1-condo building, which is next to a college, in case you're wondering. You know it's a good sign when they show you the entrance to the building from the outside. Here's your artist rendering of the lobby. Here's your artist rendering of what it may look like from inside the college lobby. Here's another image of the lobby. Here are some chairs in a different room in the lobby. Here are some exercise bikes way up in the air. A full service gym. We've got exercise bikes. We've got two treadmills staring at the wall. Did you think you're getting a TV? Did you think that in your $500,000 condo building next to the college you're getting a TV or perhaps even a window? We're at photo number 9 here, and we're still at the mail slots. A coveted place that, when I used to live in a condo for about a year. When I was living in a condo, and the realtor said, here's how it looks, I said, I don't need to see the condo. Let's start me off with the mailboxes and the treadmills, please, that point at the wall. Hey guys, here's your mailboxes in case you were wondering. Let's bring that back up. My apologies. We've got plenty of mailboxes. There's even a door at the end. Well, let's talk about the hallways. The hallways are nice and marble. So what if your doors look like one of those folding closets? This is from the inside of the door. We finally entered the apartment. It's empty. Now, have you dreamt? I can't tell what's worse yet. This condo, living in the condo, or the double wide trailer. Because in the trailer, your kitchen isn't also your living room. This is $500,000. Here's a better view. The person's back. The realtor's back is up against the wall here. He's laughing. He's saying, what kind of idiot is buying this place for $500,000? You're next to a college. There's going to be, beer bottles all over the place. There's going to be people yelling until 3 a.m. There might even be a person vomiting in your hallway, but at least we've got the treadmills against the wall. So this realtor's taking this photo and he's saying, hey, what better place to take this photo than backed up against the wall as I'm laughing at you? Here's the look from the balcony. So he had to strap himself into the railing of the balcony in order to get this. Here's a close-up. Now, this is something I've never seen. I've never seen a real estate listing where they give you a close-up of the one kitchen sink and the Keurig. Is that an ad? Does this need one of those YouTube ad disclaimers now? Keurig received money for this. You've got your built-in microwave. You don't have to worry about that. It's above your electric stove. Here's your sprawling bedroom with a closet. Is this not even a doored room? Is this a bachelor, a 1+? So you have just a closeted off room from the living room? And then you've got your balcony, which you can see through, it seems like, in case you're hoping for some privacy. You can just see through to the other side. That's a going theme we're noticing with these properties. You can just see through to the neighbor. I don't know what we're looking at there, just a washer and dryer. That's the washer and dryer unit we were hoping to get in the house in Albany. It's going to run you a solid $600, so let's be careful with that. And then there's your bathroom again, not giving you the walk-in that the trailer would get. So if we're comparing right now, I'd say go with the trailer. You're not going to be living near teenagers. You're not going to be having people vomit on your property. You're not going to be going for, the gun every weekend. One more place in Canada for now before we get to compare some more U.S. places. This is Scarborough, Ontario. Near and around Toronto. As you can see, the prices are out of control. We've got a $1 listing. I believe them. Another $500,000 condo. And this is a great image too, $600,000. I feel like that's the one we should look at, but let's keep going. $600,000 townhouse. All you're getting is a condo. This is in Scarborough, right next to Toronto. How could you lose? How could you lose? Another $1 home in Pickering. This is a bargain. You can even we got a 3D tour up. We've got all these pictures. We don't know how much it costs yet. You tell us. We've got a rectangle in the sky for $1. $580,000. This is also not believable. Another plot of empty land. Let's check out that condo building that showed us the entrance. That's giving me a good feeling. Again, $600,000, Valley Farm Road in Pickering, Ontario. Not the greatest area. Not no more, anyways. Do we have any other photos? We don't have any other photos. That's fine. You looking for an apartment? too fucking bad. You get a pixelated photo of the front of the building, but you get squash courts in a party room. Who's hearing this? Who's looking for a place and they're just like, man, I hope they have squash courts in a party room for this $600,000 place. Let's read their description. Welcome to the heart of Pickering, where luxury meets convenience in this stunning condo, which we can't show you what it looks like, by the way. Discover a generously sized master bedroom with a walkout to the balcony, perfect for enjoying the stunning views. No stunning views there, by the way. The adjoining solarium adds an extra touch of tranquility to your space, even though you can't see it. The large bright kitchen with its own window is a chef's dream. Chef's dream! Chef's dream. Crown molding and California shutters add to a touch of elegance in every room. That's enough for the place. Let's talk about the underground parking and a host of amenities. Pools, gym, sauna, billiard room, party room, library, tennis, and squash courts. Every day is filled with entertainment. Peace of mind with 24-hour gated security, because of all the condo break-ins we've been having. What do you care about more, Canada, United States, that you can live in a house, or are you willing to forego the sauna, the billboard room, and the party room that's taken up by Polish grandmothers for the most part every weekend, cooking cabbage rolls? No shade up to the Polish people. I know a lot of Polish people. I just think cabbage rolls smell bad. That's me. This is a parking spot for $25,000 a year. Finally, some reasonable prices. I think I can afford to invest in this. I'm just a lowly writer and YouTuber, but I think that given my hard work over the past couple of years, during the pandemic, protests and whatnot that I reported on, I'm entitled to buy a $25,000 parking lot next to a condo. It's an incredible opportunity and a price. Excellent parking space. So what we've had here is buyers must be owners of units at one of these two properties. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to the convenience and peace of mind of having your own or extra guaranteed parking spot in a busy city. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun that we're at this spot in the world where treating yourself to a person treating themselves as getting a parking spot, your own parking spot, by the way. This is a person who owns tons of condos, and they're saying, hey, I'm going to be a good guy, and I'm going to put a couple parking spots up for sale. Just $25,000 a year. Is it permanent? I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how you can buy a parking spot, but it's just $25,000 a year. Or remember what I was talking about at the beginning about growing insane? Maybe that was in the description, but becoming insane. Remember what I was talking about when I said reaching for something on the weekends? Maybe, I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break here. And by that, I mean we're going to showcase our Patreon channel where you get the bonus podcast every single week. It's patreon.com/UOPod. Go there. We've got podcasts every single week and bonus material. Become Joe Rogan for just $7 a month. That's me becoming Joe Rogan. Not everyone, although I do wish that for everybody. You become a super fan like the Raptor super fan for just $15 a month. Or you can be an unauthorized person, if I could learn to speak English, for $40 a month, and you can suggest a topic for a video, which we've already done before, about our good friend Richie the Barber. You get our full Gamergate podcast that came out last week. They're trying to cancel the gamers again. The Why Do You Even Care? It's all locked. We've got a podcast with Louis Brackpool. We've got comedy bits with Uncle Hack from the Danger Cats, the most banned group in Canada right now. Comedy group, that is. We've got stuff with Anomaly. And we've even got other exclusive stuff with John Doyle. There's some more Anomaly. We're looking handsome. And you'll get advanced footage of our Streeter vids, which all come with bonus footage. So you'll only get the bonus version on the Patreon version, but you'll also get an advanced notice of the actual version that's going out. So you'll get bonus content from these videos, and you'll also get to see them before anyone else does. So that's patreon.com/UOPod. All of our fun guests are there. All of our fun gallivants and comedic bits are there. Do you guys remember a group of pranksters called the Dudesons? Now, I was watching them last night with a couple of loved ones. And, We ran out of things to put on, so we just put this on while we were talking about real estate. The Dudesons are like the jackass of Finland, and they're talking about their home here and how it got set on fire, and they're talking about how they live in Finland, and where they live in Finland is a place called Seinäjoki, Finland. It's in the Arctic Circle. In this episode, they talk about, how there's portions of the year, as they set their house on fire, how there's portions of the year where there is no sundown, there's no sunset because they live in the Arctic Circle. And we were thinking, it can't possibly be better than here. It's in the middle of nowhere. But you can get a way bigger house here. Almost. It's almost affordable for Canadians. Their prices are still up, but it's still, these are not trailers. This $337,000 one. This is a condo for $109,000. $359,000 house. Let's point this out. Let's point this out. Now, these guys live in Finland. It's I think their population was about 60,000. And this is a $700,000 unit. Let's quickly flash you back to where we were just minutes ago. $665,000 in Clarington, Ontario. What's that going to get you in Finland? Well, it's going to get you a mansion. And you might be saying, yeah, they're in the middle of Finland, in the Arctic Circle. Of course, everything's going to be cheaper. This is a really nice house, by the way. But this is the difference. Wouldn't you think that this would have to cost like a couple $1 million? Here, this would cost $5 million. But the point we're making here is that, most people can't afford a $700,000 home. If it was half that price, you could probably move to Seinäjoki, Finland. But isn't the point here that if you were to, in order to live kind of normally, in order to be able to kind of afford things, you have to live in the Arctic Circle? Isn't that the thing here? I mean, there's only a few houses for sale in their town, but you could buy this house for half the price of a double-wide trailer with marble in it and everything brand new. But in Canada, hours away from the city center, Clarington, Ontario is not this budding city. It's not this place of nightlife. It's not this place where anyone would ever say that's where I want to move when I grow up. It's just the outskirts of a region that's an hour outside of Toronto. And you can't even afford to live in a double-wide trailer there. But in a random place in Finland, you can live in a mansion or something very nice for half the cost. I don't know if that's a place to shower or a place to, rinse off your horse or something in Finland. It's also got a sauna. But that's what they've got there. Now, aside from the middle of nowhere in Finland, what are the prices in other places in the United States? We're going to drop down to Dallas, Texas, where we've maxed out our price here at $370,000 United States dollars, which again is $500,000 Canadian. And we've seen, let's jump on back. $534,000 Canadian is getting you what? It's getting you the double wide trailer. It's getting you 2 of these units, which equal 2 bedrooms. So that's $550,000 Canadian for 2. And then it's getting you your bachelor pad for $500,000, and then maybe a couple parking spots if you're willing to shell out another $100,000. But in Dallas, Texas, which again is not the cheapest place, it's one of the more expensive places in Texas. I was recently there. The highway system's way better. There's way more food options. Yeah, there's some homeless people, I guess, but in Toronto and everywhere else and every other city, there's 10 times more homeless people now. And, the highway system's way better. It's way easier to get around. There's so many more neighborhoods. And then you've got stuff like this. So, again, we've maxed out $370,000. That's less than those trailers cost in Canada. Here's what you can get for far less. You can get this house. You can get that house. We're going to have to look at some. We're going to have to look at the equivalent. We're going to have to look at something that's way up near 370. This is $400,000 or 340,000, sorry. That's pretty close. 250, 370. There's the max. And it's not even the nicest one, but we can look at this and we can compare it to the trailer, okay? We've got a driveway. We've got a walkway. I don't see a driveway unless it's on the other side. We've got a big open kitchen. Looks like it was recently renovated. A fireplace. I don't see the laundry room office yet, but we're only a few photos in. Can we get the exterior here? Only? Oh, it just takes us back to that. Street view? That Google Street View? Yeah. Oh no, let's check out the street view. Is there something on the other side is what I want to know. It's hard to tell. Is there a driveway and a garage on the other side? I mean, this is an insane bathroom here. We've got the marble everywhere. Or maybe just granite. I'm not a realtor. Maybe I was in a past life. A fancy shower, the soaker tub. Lots of rooms with new hardwood floors. And again, this is still less than one of the trailers. Here's the backyard. So I guess there's no... Or there's a garage. I'm speaking too soon. I don't know why they don't show it, but that appears to be part of the house, the garage there. So, again, $500,000 Canadian is going to get you that. There were some crazy ones here. $340,000 contingent on something. I don't know what that means. Estimated $2,400 a month. So, you would pay less in your mortgage for this house in Dallas, Texas than you would for the trailer. In fact, you'd pay significantly less. What did that say? $2,400? Monet Place. $2,400 a month, so that's about $3,100 Canadian per month. You'd be paying over $1,000 more in mortgage per month in Canada for your double wide trailer. And this is a phenomenal house. This is insane. It's crazy that we can't build stuff like this in Canada or anywhere else. And that's Dallas, Texas. Let's choose another place. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? Vacation spot. You know, you're in Florida. Very close to Miami, between Miami and Boca Raton. All these beach spots. I mean, you're on the ocean here, right? Let's see the prices. Things are getting price cut. I haven't ever seen a price cut in Canada. I don't think the last 10 years I've seen a price cut. So 156 grand. We can double back to the condos if you guys would like in Canada. 500 grand, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Just to remind you. That was the one with the lobby that they loved showing. And then, of course, our favorite mailboxes and things. So I just want to be able to jump back and forth between these, all right? So that's Canada for $500,000. Here's Fort Lauderdale, Florida for $156,000. So probably $200-something thousand, $250 maybe Canadian. We've got another trailer, I guess. Same price as Canada. We finally found something that's similar, but everything else is being price cut. $295,000 for this condo. So you could save $100,000 and move to Florida and live in a much bigger condo with an actual kitchen that's on the ocean with boats and marinas and people having a good time and patios. Of course, we all care about that. I don't know why there's two beds in a bedroom, but there is. And this is in Fort Lauderdale, and you still save more money than in Canada. $175,000, $389 for a house. That's about the same price as the condo, the 1-bedroom condo. So Fort Lauderdale's looking pretty expensive. Still not expensive as trailer life in Canada. Still not expensive to live in a 4-bedroom house in Fort Lauderdale or a condo. It's significantly less than the trailers. You could live on a condo on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, or you could live in a 4-bedroom or a 2-bedroom house for less than a condo or anything of that nature in Canada. Boston, another place. Now, Boston, again, very high prices, but you're still getting significantly better. These are the prices of Canadian, the equivalent of Canada. A studio, yes, it's tiny. Boston's looking rough. But what you could still get in Boston for less money. And there's no pictures in this. Is nicer looking stuff, is all I'm trying to say. It's not I mean, why doesn't anything have pictures? This guy's just taking pictures of the laundry room. Anyways, Boston's not looking good. It's still somewhat cheaper. I mean, 3-bedroom, 1-bath condo for $299. You're not getting that anywhere here. It's just not happening. But Boston's not looking good. So I encourage you guys to play this game with your friends. And this is a game we call the Pain Game around here. And because it seems to me that this magical border, I'll zoom out a bit for you guys, this magical border between Canada and the United States, Canada, this magical border is what sets the prices, right? I mean, obviously there's reasons for that. This is Oshawa where we were looking. This is about where the trailers are in this area. You can see that. This border separating is freedom. And it sounds like an exaggeration, but we're going to play the pain game. And what we do in my house with our friends is we like to play the pain game where we say, hey, let's look on our side of the border in Niagara Falls. And let's see how things are 20 minutes away in Buffalo on the other side of the border. So we do that. And we say, and we take a look at some of the places in Niagara Falls, Canada here. 829,000. 900,000. These are $1 million homes in Canada, okay? Everything's 800, 679, 639, 600 for the condos, 1.2 million over here, 2 million over here. I mean, this is obviously a really nice house, but it's $2 million. Let's see if that loads. It doesn't want to load. So you can see the prices there in Niagara Falls. Out of this world, am I right? So let's pop on over to Buffalo, New York. Same price range. Oh, look, it's a large house for $325,000. This was pretty much the same home here as this one for $475,000. And this one is $200,000 US. So more than $100,000 less. But as you can see, the trend here in Canada is that you're going to be paying $500,000 to $1 million for anything of note. And even in a lot of places where you're paying $500,000 to $1 million, you're getting condos, you're getting trailers. Whereas you cross the border and all of a sudden things are cut in half. This is $500,000 in Buffalo, outside of Buffalo. It's absolutely insane. 6 bedrooms, 2 baths for $500,000. I would have to stake out a home, find out when a family's going on vacation, break into their house, squat in it, change my name to their name, steal their entire identity, change the locks, get my license plates changed when they came back and say, I've always been living here, in order to get a house like that here. It's been me this whole time. My name is AJ Nagaratnam. My family immigrated here in 2017. Thank you, Justin Trudeau. And this is where I live. This is how I live now. But that's not going to happen. This is not what's available. And again, you're going to say, oh, it's not their fault. And it's not their fault. It's Justin Trudeau's fault. Again, whether it's India, whether it's Australia, whether it's New Zealand, Justin Trudeau has decided that people don't need to live. And what do I mean by that? We can tax anything we want. People don't need to live. We can tax the gas and the fuel. People don't need to heat their homes. People don't need to drive. It's fine. Quote-unquote environment. People don't need to be able to afford homes. It's fine. Bring in 1 million other people. People don't need to be able to travel. It's fine. Use the Arrive-Can app. But as you can see, things are absolutely out of control. We call it the pain game, everybody. We can give you another example. Andrew, what about other examples? Kingston, Ontario. Greater Napanee, that's where Avril Lavigne's from, you guys. Gananock. Prince Edward, Ontario. Kinte West. This is the cheapest area you're getting, by the way. This little area right here, if you want to look into that. But Kingston, Ontario, across the border, Watertown, Fort Drum, Carthage area. Let's take a look. This is Kingston, Ontario, 900,000, 888, 888-888888 today. I messed that up, but you get the idea. 749, 850. I mean, these are nice enough houses, but I know that you can close your eyes and see in your mind that these houses were 250, 10 years ago. And that's not how inflation's supposed to work. Inflation's not supposed to triple 300% in 10 years. It's not supposed to have inflation work. It's supposed to be 1% a year. So the prices should double, rightfully, maybe 200 years. 200 years we're talking. 650, 485. We're getting closer to 420, bro. So that's Kingston, Ontario. Let's choose one, shall we? 600 grand for one of these houses. Something like that. Then we went across the water to Waterton, New York. 265. Okay, I didn't see this. This is insane. This is less than this is like 400,000 Canadian. This house. What's wrong with it? Again, are we haunted? Did 16 dogs live in here? I see that they're a front yards, backyards person, but the house is still gigantic. Stone walkways. We're talking about the forest. This was a crazy person that lived in this house. I don't know what happened here. This is Ernest lived here, I think. Maybe one of the women from Bewitched lived here. This is decorated like a person who was alive in the 1700s. But again, $265,000 compared to Canada. What else do we got? Oh, that's fine. This is fine. Oh, just $60,000. We're fine. It's fine in Canada. Everything's fine in Canada, Justin Trudeau says. You know how, like, when Biden got up in the State of the Union and he said, the economy's great, everybody's happy, the job market, we're getting serious now, the job market is doing great. Everybody's looking for people. They just can't find American workers. Everything's doing great. When Joe Biden says all that and you're like, you're insane, dude, Justin Trudeau goes on camera. He's like, hate speech and we need to change things, and people aren't being Palestinian enough, and people aren't being Israeli enough, and people are being too racist, and here they come for me. Here comes Justin Trudeau's police. But when the government gets on television and says things are great, and I know things aren't great in the United States, let me tell you. But when they tell you that they're doing all they can, even the conservatives, they don't ever mention immigration costs. They do mention the carbon tax, but they don't ever mention the cost of overloading people with immigration. When you can go to a Canadian city that has been just pounded with a carbon tax and pounded with, thousands upon thousands of people from anywhere in the world. Again, we're discriminating against Icelandicers or Icelanders as much as we are other countries here. And you could just cross the border and things are a third of the price. And you could afford to live in a gigantic home. Look at this one. $380,000. This is a monster. This is like bigger than the Home Alone house. And this is just over $500,000 Canadian. So when you guys go home, and I know this is a depressing game for all of us if you don't own a home, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do? When you look in your mind and you say, this is what $500,000 looks like on the U.S. side of the border, and this is what 600,000 looks like on our side of the border. Don't think that this is the only thing you have to do. Don't think that this is how you have to live. If these people don't want to change, if the government doesn't want to change, and the country is not what you thought it was, and that's not like a weird racialized statement, right? Talking about affordability, quality of life, and everything. If the country is not what you thought it was, or your place where you grew up, you need to detach yourself because these people don't care. The place is, you kind of have to take this mindset that the place where you grew up was never actually the place where you grew up because of what was there. It was what was allowed to foster there through policy and politics. Because you could have grown up in a time in any other country, like Serbia or something in the 90s, and everything would be shit. Everything would be too expensive. Maybe you're Cuban, you grew up there, and you would just be like, this country sucks. This place I'm growing up in sucks. I need to get out of here. But you also could have grown up before Fidel Castro and be like, this country is amazing. What I'm trying to say is, as sad as it is, you need to sort of detach yourself with this area that you grew up in being the place that you want it to be. Because the likelihood that these prices go down by, $500,000 to where they should be, $300,000 at least to where they should be, is, I don't think it's a thing that's going to happen, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think any conservative leadership is going to come in and say, halt the immigration or cut it in half or anything like that. We're not building any more condos or trailers. We're going to build freehold houses, and that's what's going to be available, and we're going to get tax incentives for first home buyers more than $5,000 or whatever it was, which is gone now, by the way. The idea that they're going to let these prices go back down when these builders and all these people are making money hand over fist off this stuff, you're going to have to be dreaming, and you're going to have to let that go. I mean, if the costs come down far enough where you can afford a home, great. But you should, if you're stuck in a perpetual cycle of renting and playing the pain game here, you should start looking for other places. But first and foremost, you should start talking about the policies and the failures of your local and provincial and federal governments are doing to you, because that's what's happening right now. The prices for everything are up. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to care at all. Bring more people in. Raise the taxes. Condos, trailers, townhouses. That's all you need. You don't need your car, electric cars, please. Even though we don't have any charging stations, buy an electric car. It's only $50,000. Justin Trudeau loves you. And that's my lesson for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's enraging, but it's good to put in perspective. Keep an eye on this type of stuff. And just don't buy it. You go to a store and, a bag of cookies, which I should have brought up for this podcast. A bag of cookies is $6.99 when it used to be $2. Keep a note of it. Just don't buy it. Go buy the no-name stuff. Nobody's actually watching you if you're not in elementary school to see that you're buying the no-name stuff. Just refuse to participate in it. You know what? Because it's not your fault when, a bunch of companies start losing money and they're just like, what do we do? The last thing they want to do is get together and be like, hey, Mr. Prime Minister, or hey, Mr. Premier, we're dying out here. You need to do something to lower the taxes or whatever. That's what they have to do. It's not on you to lower the prices for them. It's not on you to just be like, well, it's just a little bit longer. We'll have to last. I'll keep them afloat for a while. It's not your job to keep businesses afloat. It's not your job to make the government look good. So you have to kind of refuse to participate is what I'm saying. You see how things are happening in New York and San Francisco and these areas, Los Angeles, where people are moving out of? You have to refuse to participate out in the system. If you have a remote job, don't be afraid to pick up and move to the middle of Saskatchewan or something like that. Yes, it's going to suck. It's going to temporarily suck. You're not going to be around a lot of things that you want and where you grew up. But you're going to have to refuse to participate in the system if the system keeps stepping on you and spitting in your face. Justin Trudeau is doing the equivalent of, he's chewing on a big fatty steak and he has no intention of swallowing it because it's so chewy and overcooked because he doesn't know how to cook. And he's slopping up baked potato and barbecue sauce, and then he's spitting that in your face, and then he's telling you the barbecue sauce is illegal and you need to pay a carbon tax for the cow's farts from where you got the steak, and then he's going to fly away in his private jet that is fueled by, I don't know, love. You need to start refusing to participate. Keep your eye on these things. Start rewarding companies that drop their prices. Chuck's Roadhouse. That's a great place with good prices. Even Burger King's trying to drop their prices for people, coming up with a menu. Businesses that are trying to give you a break, reward those ones. If you go to a Walmart and you can't move around and people are just bumping into you with a cart, not only is that partially Walmart's fault for fostering this terrible environment where people are acting insane, but it's your local politician's fault. If people want to live in insanity, then you have to let them. You have to step away. You have to be able to detach yourself from this terribleness. You can wait for the change and hope that it comes, but at this point, I think when our trailer parks are $700,000 a month, it's almost unsavable. Do what you want to do. I can't convince you of otherwise, but I think refuse to participate. Buy the no-name brands. Stop going to Subway for $30 a sub. Stop going to the pizza brands that are $28.99 for a large pizza. Stop participating in these things. They'll have to bring the prices down. I thank you guys for watching. UOPod.com and patreon.com/UOPod is the Patreon podcast. I hope we can start signing more people up. It's been going pretty well, but we need more people. I would love it if you guys would sign up for even the minimum price. Give me suggestions about what more things you want covered, and it'll be a lovely time in Justin Trudeau's Canada. I love you guys. Check out the Instagram. Andrew does. Andrew Says on YouTube as well. Andrew Says TV on Twitter. Blaze.com, theblaze.com. You can find all my links, though, and we'll see you next time.
Turn it up, Jordan.